New portal, where do you begin? Click around or dive right in. What's the first thing that you do? We're learning from the pros, sharing it with you. Set up secrets, come and see. What's the trick to HubSpot harmony? Tune in now, don't miss your cue. We're going live and saving spots for you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to HubSpot Setup Secrets, What Pros Do First. I'm Casey, and this series is all about answering one deceptively tricky question. What do you actually do first when you get inside to a new HubSpot portal? No two admins, ops pros, or HubSpot experts tackle it the same way, and that's exactly why I started this series. I've been inviting smart folks from across the ecosystem to share what they look at first and what they skip and what they've learned along the way. Today's guest is Willem, and I cannot wait to hear his take. Whether you're brand new to HubSpot or knee-deep in portal cleanup, I hope this conversation gives you some fresh ideas and maybe even makes you feel less alone in the mess. Let's dive in. Hello, Willem. Thanks for joining me today. To start off, do you want to give a little background on you?
First of all, who can't start a show like this with a smile on their face because of the jingle, right? It's fantastic.
I have to give all the props to Danielle. She told me after she joined just last week, and she was like, "You should get a jingle." And I was like, "Yeah." So
Yeah,
then I wasted, an hour or 2 hours, whatever, and now we have that.
I think it's fantastic. So a little bit about me. I'm currently a solutions engineer at HubSpot. I joined HubSpot almost 4 years ago, and most of the time I've been a customer success manager. And customer success manager specifically for the, I'm going to say, medium-sized accounts. So that means that somebody with just one Pro Hub, I wouldn't be their customer success manager because that would not hit the MRR threshold, so monthly recurring revenue. And the largest customers would fall outside of what I would be working with. In that time, it started with me actually manually going through the portals, trying to find usually the quickest win and to have a discussion with the customer to make them grow, because that's eventually, as a customer success manager, you look after their success. I became one of the more technical customer success managers, and the next iteration was that end of last year, I moved to an SE role, which is solutions engineer, and that is the sales side. That's the dark side, basically.
We were talking in the pre-show. I think you're helping people make sure they get what they actually are looking for.
Yeah, my goal really is not necessarily to sell, because there's always a sales rep involved, but my goal is to make sure that it's the right fit for the right customer.
Yeah, so you could frame it like that. That sounds a little bit.
It really is about that, and sometimes also saying, well, we may win this deal if we go for it. We shouldn't go for it. We are not the right product for the right customer at the right time.
Yeah, that's sometimes the truth.
And yeah, do the right thing. That's what HubSpot is about.
Well, I'm really glad that you agreed to be on the show. I know you've been doing some onboarding series with Chris, and so that's why I wanted to get you over to my side of LinkedIn.
Right side, right?
My side of LinkedIn, and get your opinion on what customers, what admins should do when they get into new portals. In the pre-show, I think you're going to have some hot takes for me, which is always welcome. We love hot takes.
Well, especially with my previous customers, I told you this before, I was kind of known for telling people that they asked the wrong question. And for me, it's not necessarily about starting to answer the question like, okay, where should you look first? But you should really look at first one, who am I?
Hmm.
So in my case, most of the portals that I went into, I was at that time a customer success manager. I had a certain technical skill set. I had a certain, people amount of people skills, which was not perfect, but still, I should keep that in mind. Uh, and what are my goals? Well, is that to have a conversation? Is that an upsell? Is that a cross sell? What exactly do I want to get out of what I am doing? And I'm being very general right now. I'm not saying the conversation or the portal audit or anything like that. Next one is, who is the other person? And the other person can be a company, can be a real person. So
Hmm.
if that is head of marketing, am I really gonna look at the sales pipeline? Probably not. Would it be a good idea to look at the sales pipeline for that company? Maybe. So maybe if I can't find anything else that would help them, I would look at that and I would ask the marketing person, well, I went through your portal. This is not your concern. Can you hook me up with the right person?
Hmm.
Really, if you would do a portal audit, who would pay the bill? Who would want to get what out of it?
Yeah. Me personally,
Yeah.
usually I lean marketing. So usually it's typically a marketing budget line item is maybe how I'll phrase it.
Yeah. So if it is a marketing budget line item,
Mhm.
who should get the most benefit out of this?
In the marketing team.
Yeah. Are they gonna work with you if you uncover an issue with, I don't know, the ticketing pipeline, which is none of their concern and they don't care. So they may not flag that internally in the company because they have enough things to worry about.
Mhm.
So if you have the first four answered, and keep in mind that can be like within 1 minute,
Mhm.
then the question is, and what is now the right thing to do? Because you create the delta between your goals, their goals. Maybe you really want to get a retainer with them. Maybe as a HubSpotter, I want to make sure that they can go to their CEO and say, look, I can prove value.
Mhm. I think this is a really good explanation because
But it's not an answer.
it's not an answer. It's not an answer. That's fine. I told you you didn't have to. But I mean, part of why I wanted to do so when the reason I don't have an audit is because I've never done a HubSpot audit the same way twice. Um, and that's why, because even if I'm usually being um, paid out of the marketing budget, um, so I'm typically coming in from the same department and in a similar role, that like delta is very rarely the same because it's up here, sometimes down here, over here, like,
Exactly.
graphs.
Yep.
Um, and so I think it's a really good baseline to talk about that early and recognize that that's that's the reason I don't have a single audit checklist because I'm no two HubSpots are the same. No two teams are the same. I mean, I've worked with the same point of contact at multiple companies, and I'm still auditing their account differently because it's a new account, it's a new company, there's a new need. Um, Even if the two people involved are exactly the same, the two humans involved are exactly the same. It's still going to look different um, because it is. Um, so all of that to say, I don't. Yes, it's not an answer, but it is in the way of like, what do you do first when you're in a new HubSpot portal? I think you establish your baseline. You
You
figure out.
establish where the center of gravity of your effort should be, and that is the intersection that you are talking about. I just call it the center of gravity, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And being a HubSpotter is a little bit unfair because we have a lot of internal tools that allow you to almost automatically do an audit and tell you where exactly is what is happening. And one really quick example is I heard somebody in one of the previous shows say, I'm going into users to see what is going on. We can see which user did how many actions in the last amount of time in which hub and how many of them were workflow actions. Because if you do 20,000 workflow actions, I don't care about that. You may have been laid off 3 months ago or something like that, but you may just be still in the system.
Mm.
So if you have all that information, it automatically draws a different picture.
Mhm.
But if I think about, okay, if you are with marketing, for instance, what is marketing judged on?
Leads, MQLs.
Are you sure?
No,
Not close revenue?
depends.
Exactly. And I'm going to question a little bit, like if you say the amount of leads, what happens if you, with the same target audience, if you manage to create twice as many leads?
Mhm,
Because everybody who clicked on a cat photo, you're going to call that a lead as well.
mhm,
So you'll have twice as many leads.
mhm.
Will you have more close revenue?
No.
Likely not. So the question really becomes like, okay, so if I was a CEO and I'm, what would I be looking at? And if the other side right now, because you mentioned marketing, so I'm going to say right now is the CMO,
Yeah.
what would make them look good? That is what I would be looking for.
Mhm,
So would it make them look good if I can simply provide maybe a report saying this is the amount of leads, this is the amount of revenue that's tied to those leads,
mhm.
and which piece of marketing material contributed most to that? Would that be a relevant question if I would be talking to head of services?
No, they don't care about that.
No, no, they would be looking at you like, why are you wasting our audit money like that?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I think you're right that answering some of those questions, establishing who and what you're talking who you're talking to, what you're talking about, are really helpful places to start. Um, and establishing, like, the goals. I mean, I've talked about this on a few sessions, but, like, I everyone that's going into a new portal is getting brought in for some reason. You've been on customer success. I'm guessing a lot of I could be wrong. I'm guessing a lot of what you did when on customer success was, like, try to engage customers with you.
So what you should consider a little bit is that, and this would be a semi-typical situation. I would have a customer, maybe a new customer, maybe a new point of contact. I would have to try to find a way to get in touch with them, which can be a struggle,
Yeah,
more than you would think.
yeah.
And having a customer success manager is included in the package. So I don't charge anything like that, or that was not the case. But still, they look at you like, why would I waste my time? So you need to find a hook in the portal.
Mhm,
With what can you say, ooh, that thing,
mhm,
you're wasting money.
mhm,
Stop it and talk to me.
mhm,
If you can find that thing, then that is for me one of the goals. Can I combine that with the customer's goal? Like if it's a CMO, I have found something. If you take that to your CEO, you may get a promotion. And yes, we've worked on that. We've seen that happen quite
mhm,
a bit
mhm,
because it really is like we can take ownership We can work with a customer and we can make sure that they increase what I'm going to call the RevOps game.
Yeah. Are there common places you're looking for those? I mean, I know it depends on who your point of contact is. If it's the CMO, then you're looking in Marketing Hub. I know that's going to be your.
The
But
hot
like, is
topic,
it workflows? Is it marketing contacts? Things like that.
if you think about workflows,
Mhm.
and I really love custom coded workflows, I'm going to start off with that. If I give you a proper workflow and it's a custom coded workflow, how long does it take you to understand exactly what that does?
An hour. Maybe. No.
And now you have a customer with let's ask the question differently. A different workflow, because keep in mind, custom coded workflow will take you an hour.
Yeah.
A semi-complex workflow,
Mhm.
no matter what that is for you, I'm just going to say semi-complex workflow.
Mhm.
How long does it take you to look at that and to make sure you understand what it does and that there are no flaws in there?
Semi-complex. Say 15 to 30 minutes is what I'll define.
My average customer had around 200 workflows.
Oof.
How am I going to check all of them? So it really would be like, okay, how many workflows do they have that actually run?
Mhm.
How many times do they run within the last 7 days?
Mhm.
Maybe I'll check one based on complexity. And with workflows, it's the same as with everything in HubSpot. Everybody has different reasons and different ways of working. I like to build out single workflows that go all the way. And
Mm.
that means that if I have a workflow with 100, 200 steps, I don't care.
Mhm.
Nowadays, you can test it pretty easily. What exactly do they have? So
Mhm.
that gives me an indication of what kind of person am I talking to.
I see. I have the opposite approach. I do the more workflows, less steps per workflow mentality, which I know it's personal preference.
Pros and cons.
Yeah, pros and cons.
But for me, one of the reasons why I don't is because if you have a complex process
Mhm.
and something breaks,
Mhm.
which of that 6 workflows that you just daisy chained caused that?
Mhm.
And
I would
again, this is
say, which step in your mega workflow caused it?
you can test that, and you can look at the previous enrollments, the interaction history. You can look at just about everything.
Mhm.
But again, pros and cons. There is no right or wrong, and that makes it a little bit challenging.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I do look at, have they set up their templates?
Mm.
That for me is a dead giveaway about the maturity of the
Mhm.
customer and about how much work should they really spend on a proper setup. Have they done that?
And when
If
you
you
say
have,
templates, what there's a few different places where templates exist. All of them?
no, not all of them. I don't really care that much about uh, if I say email templates, what I mean is that you have snippets and templates.
Mhm.
I mean those email templates.
The
The
sales email template.
marketing email template should be set up and should be the newer template where you can't basically kick out the logo as your beginner marketer and that sort of thing. So not the full drop and drag
Mhm.
email, not the fully coded, but the combined one.
Mhm.
If that is not the case, why not?
Mhm.
Because you're taking a risk. Have they set up landing pages?
Mhm.
Have they set up the templates for that? If they haven't, then that tells you a lot about their maturity.
Mhm. Mhm.
Likely that means that they won't know how to write a proper landing page.
Yeah.
Are they using ads?
I love the ads tool.
That makes one of us.
I do.
What do you like about it?
Well, you asked before about what marketing gets measured on, and the ads tool makes it a lot easier to see your cost per lead, your cost per MQL, your cost per customer. All of that is just in one tool versus previous to the ads tool, I was like manually building these crazy Looker Studio reports to get to the same thing.
So that means that you don't use it to run ads, just for the reporting.
No.
Perfect. Then we are fully aligned, because I think that it lacks some of the. It depends on your budget. If you're a small Papa and Mama store, just go ahead, manage it from Google,
Mhm,
or sorry, from HubSpot. That makes more sense than you have one tech stack.
mhm.
But if you have an ads budget of 15K or something like that a
Yeah.
month, manage it through Google Ads.
Yeah, you're gonna miss some functionality.
You're gonna, not a whole lot, but too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that also brings up the question like, okay, so if you're talking about a budget of 15K a month, how are you measuring ROI? How is that exactly working? And that's always, well, also a lovely discussion.
I don't know if I
That
have any clients that have that totally nailed because that can be
you can't nail it.
yeah.
It is, if you ask me, it's impossible. And I may not be the world's foremost expert on Google Ads, but I did work a year for Google, optimizing the bigger accounts in the region that I work in. No, it just shows that I do know a little bit what I'm talking about. Keep in mind that I start with who am I? What are
Mhm.
my goals? Who's the other person? That means that maybe if you talk about ads, that you understand that, yeah, I also know a little bit what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm trying to set up. For me, everything is about the framing.
Mhm. So I think it comes down to, like you said, who are you? Who are you sitting across from in this HubSpot conversation?
And what are the goals?
And what are the goals of both of those people? And then starting to see what's set up in HubSpot that works for and against everybody's goals.
Yeah, but let's just say for now that you're a marketeer, you pay me to do a marketing audit. I look at the portal and I see quickly enough, you know what the sales target should be. You should be bringing in 80 million a year.
Mhm.
I see in the amount of deals that you bring in 1 million a year. And yes, I do look at those things. Should we really focus too much on marketing? Or, and that's where the fifth question comes into play. What is the right thing to do? Maybe I should say, well, you know what? In the next meeting, I want the CEO in there
Mhm.
because something is wrong.
Mhm.
And I think that that is really the most important bit to start with, looking at those things, really trying to understand what kind of company you're doing it for, what their goals are, how their go-to-marketing process should look like. What are they measuring? Are they measuring the right things?
Mhm.
And build it out from there.
Just and then you just build. The easy part.
I am going to say yes. For me, that always is the easy part. If you think about a report, for instance, and I've, if you ask me, I built like 1,000,000 reports. Uh, Getting to what exactly is the question that a report should answer is by far the most time consuming.
Mhm.
Building a report is just like that, but so many times you have somebody who says, well, can you build me a report with something about deals and date?
Just fill
That
in the blanks
that
for
question is a lot more common than you think.
me.
And that means that if you would ask every guest to build out that report, that none of them would look alike.
They wouldn't.
No.
That is true. I don't think they would. And everybody's looking at it differently. Um,
Yeah, but everybody has different goals. And that is where you should really start with okay, if you do a free portal audit because you really expect them to sign a retainer which is substantial for you,
mhm.
shouldn't you spend a little bit more time on it? But it's a free portal audit. Should you? Don't know. How big is the chance? So many questions.
Mhm. Yeah, I know my portal audits tend to be cheaper than a lot of my colleagues' portal audits, because, like, you said, I mean, I'm using it as a way to identify a potential retainer project. I mean, that's why I do a portal audit. That's not a that's not a secret to anyone. That's why anyone's doing a portal audit. Um, so there is like that's my goal in there. And then whoever I'm talking to, often it's marketing, but I do sometimes it's sales leaders that I'm talking to, in which case then my portal audit is going to lean more Sales Hub, more templates, sequences, things like that. Um, and the reporting on the sales side, which is often the piece that often it's I you almost alluded to this. Often it's reporting that is the real pain point, even though people don't know that.
Yeah, but reporting is always lagging. It's
Yeah.
never leading. So that is why I really start with if they didn't spend the time on the templates,
Mhm.
then garbage in, garbage out.
Yes. Yes.
And if you talk about, for instance, about Google Ads,
Mhm.
you likely know that the faster your landing page is and the more the content aligns with your ads, the less you pay for your ad. So the same marketing budget may go twice as far.
Mhm.
So is
Yeah.
that set up correctly?
Yeah, just this year for one of my clients that I run Google Ads for, we've improved our cost per lead pretty significantly. And my client was asking what happened, and it was the landing page. We changed the landing page, and that has made all the other metrics just like fall in line. It So yeah, I mean the Google Ads, if you have that integrated, great. Um, do you have the other pieces in place though?
Yeah, but then that's what you mentioned because I think it is a very nice example. A portal audit in that case, if you would just look at the landing pages and nothing else,
Mhm.
that would give them significant return of investment, right?
Mhm. It would.
So maybe for that one, knowing the delta between the people should have given you just enough to just sign off on that.
Mhm.
But if you have somebody else, then it may be completely different.
Yeah.
So there is not a single checklist, and you are absolutely right.
But that's why it's good to hear everybody's perspective. Do you want to recap your 5 questions for me?
Who am I? What are my goals? Who is the other side? And that can be a person or a company. And what are their goals? And what's the right thing to do?
And that last piece is going to be different every time.
That is going to be different every time, but that also depends on okay, who am I talking to? Can you get, for instance, the CEO in there or not? That depends quite
Mhm.
a bit per company, and that would alter the course I take with the portal audit. Because if the CEO is in there, it's going to be reports first.
Mhm. 'Cause that's what they're going to look like. They're going to be looking for, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts?
It all depends, but I think that everybody has said that so far, right?
That's fine. It does. And that's why it's great to hear from so many people. And I mean, I don't know if we've talked about ads at all yet, but to your point, if the person you're talking to is running a really big ad, has a really big ad budget, and that's syncing with HubSpot or not, either way, but if they have a big ads budget that they're managing, they're going to want that to be working well and well optimized.
Yeah, because not only in the ads tool itself, but in all the custom report builder reports, you can also use that information.
Mhm.
And that is where you can really prove your ROI in the form of how much did it close. So reports again.
All right, that's a wrap on today's HubSpot Setup Secret session. Huge thanks to Willem for walking us through his setup flow and what you focus on first. If you're watching and thinking, wait, I've been skipping that, or I never thought to check that first, same. That's the beauty of the series. If you've got tips of your own, or if you want to hop on and share what you do first in a portal, shoot me a DM. I'd love to keep the convo going. And if you want to catch up on past episodes, I will drop the link to that in the comments here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
New portal, where do you begin? Click around or dive right in. What's the first thing that you do? We're learning from the pros, sharing it with you. Setup secrets, come and see. What's the trick to HubSpot harmony? Tune in now, don't miss your cue. We're going live and saving spots for you.